Alright, today in Garage Mahal, just got done celebrating Christmas out here, but I have this new thing that I'm adding to my 2016 Nissan Frontier, and it's called a swing case. And basically what it is, I installed one side already, but it's a case that sits on the inside of your wheel well in the back of your bed, so you can get a lot of extra room. And they make a variety of cases for different size vehicles. This one happens to be just for the Frontier, but basically it's got a little handle and the case swings out, so it's really easy to get to at the back of your bed. Has a lock, set of keys, and then you basically open that up. You got a little compartment in there, then it opens up so you can put some more stuff in there. And then, I mean, it's pretty deep inside. You can definitely put a lot of stuff in here. Just kind of give you an idea of the room you get. That's a drill. So you can definitely fit, a toolbox, a bunch of tools. And it does have a weight limit of 75 pounds. So obviously you don't want to put like anything too heavy on the outside. It'll act like a lever. But here at the base, it's pretty good. Then it like locks into place, so I like that feature. It also has a little lock for here. It's like a little swivel lock that you can put in to keep people from, I guess, swiveling us out. It's got a padlock, little hole there that you can use. A couple things with the Frontier, and if you have one of these truck bed covers that I have, is one, it definitely will stay under the cover line, which is good, so you don't have to worry about people messing in or getting into your tools. But if you have this little extended piece that comes out on your Frontier, or I've seen them on a couple other trucks, the only problem that I ran into, and I had to get a little creative with how I did the angle on it, was you got that rail that's basically, that runs across, and then that's basically what the extended part connects to. But if you look, the slide, when it comes down, it comes pretty close to where that bracket is. So let me disconnect this box real quick, and it lifts up pretty easy. So, I mean, I did that holding the camera in one hand, and so it worked out pretty good. But anyway, if you have this little extra slide piece that comes out, you got to make sure you position it so it slides over that little keyhole or padlock hole right there. And then that way, when you're putting your extender in, you'll have enough slack for these little safety buckles that buckle into the side latch of your Frontier, Titan, or whatever truck that you have. I've even seen these on the F-150s for Ford. But anyway, again, put the box back into place. It's pretty easy. Just line up that bottom hole, slips onto the top, and then boom, you're right in place. And installation went pretty quick. And like I said, I just slide that bracket out of the way. And then it locks now almost out of the way. A little bit more. Then it locks in nice and tight. But again, I think great feature. And I know I'm bouncing around all over the place in here, but I had to pack the shop full of all sorts of stuff to get it ready for Christmas. But anyhow, what I'll do next is I'll show you how to install it on the driver's side, from unboxing it over there to put it in, putting it in. And tools that you will need. Installation was pretty easy. I used a 2x4 block to kind of make sure that I had the right height. And since I have a bed liner on top of a bed liner, I'm going to take that out. So we got a good area to work with. But basically, regular 2x4 I found gives you almost the exact height that you need. So you got clearance for that bracket. And then I used a small impact drill to help drill through the side of your truck. And then you're going to need an 11mm socket for install. And you're actually going to need, on the Frontier, you're going to need a 10mm to disconnect this little block at the end. It's basically a stop for that piece so it doesn't go so far. And a ratchet with an extension. So tools are pretty minimal. All right, let me flip the camera around. All right, actually, let me stop the video. All right, so unboxing of this. Move the tools out of the way. So unboxing of this is pretty simple. Alright, so boxing was basically pretty simple. You got the lock on top. The top tray is going to have your directions, your warranty information. Directions are pretty simple, straightforward to follow. So I don't know if you want to zoom in, take a look, but they give you these little spacers for Frontier to Titan or whatever model truck that you have. And those are keys. And then that little, basically swing arm lock, which I don't know if I'm ever going to use, but it's there. Then they give you all the little pieces in here. Fold that down, lay out our bracket screws. And basically you have some spacers that you're going to be drilling through to help everything line up pretty good. Oh, that's funny. The other ones actually didn't come with an adhesive backing. These do. So you got two nuts. These were those 11mm. And then you have 6 of these self-tapping screws, which make things definitely a lot easier. And don't need the box just yet. And then there's a bracket. It's got these two little, I guess when they sprayed it, these things are here to protect the screw threads. Actually, they came off pretty easy on the last one. So we'll grab our handy dandy leather, man. Alright, so these little screw ends come off pretty easy. So then you got your threads exposed. And like I said, lining it up, the only thing I did was, you have a little bit of a lip on here. So when I put it in place, I kind of rested that little piece, the little nub, on the 2x4 bracket itself. And then I came down with the slide bracket to make sure I had enough height coming through. So see, that's pretty tight. So I repositioned the 2x4 out a little bit so it drops. And see how I get a nice good clearance on that. So that's exactly where I want to keep it. So I'm going to keep that bracket there to hold it in place. And again, if you have this little sliding bracket accessory, this is what you have to do. Otherwise, installation is actually pretty quick. And then with our 11mm socket, put on the end of my little battery powered impact. Now, you don't want to tighten it down because you'll definitely strip the threads, but you definitely want to use this to start it and to make it like nice and secure. But I stop it before the threads go down all the way. And these little spacer brackets I just put in here. So it kind of sits there, tucked in nice and safe and secure behind that. And then I'll drill into that. Alright, so it's about where I want it. Make sure that that's adjusted good. So we still got a good height. Let me pull it on the top and make sure that that's good and secure. Got the spacer bracket. You don't want to go all the way down, so I'm leaving a little threads out and I'll hand tighten that. But to give you an idea, just want it just touching the frame. And this one on the other side was a little difficult just because of the amount of metal you have to go through. So let's just check that clearance again. So see, I got a nice clearance to work with. And then you got this side bracket, basically it mounts for the latch. Just tighten that down, the ratchet real quick. I make these snug. I want to make these like super tight because you don't want to strip anything. That's for sure. And these. So just enough to tighten it, not to like there rip it down. Okay. And this bottom one on the other side, I broke this screw. So be careful how you torque it down. If it's giving you too much of a struggle, back out and then go back in with it. But those are good. Then we're going to put these 2 screws in on this side. And I am going to grab my bench real fast, which I have over here. I bought this little platform on Harbor Freight. I think I got them online too, but these things are fantastic. Put it right down here. Nice stable work platform. Like I said, just stop right before so you're not like impacting these screws in. You just make them snug. One thing, you don't want them to strip, that's for sure. Okay. Put my bed liner back down. I know, it's a bed liner on top of the bed liner. But, okay. Should make sure that was locked before I start picking it up. But this goes in. Nice and easy. Oh. Remember what I was telling you about that 10mm stop that you gotta pull out? Forgot to remove that. And again, that's your safety stop on the Frontiers. And that's just to make sure that that back rail piece doesn't slide off the back of your truck. And now we got a place to actually store that little piece in. And then boom. That locks nice and snug. So that one didn't line up perfect, but there we go. A little slam. Problem is, I have the hinges sitting right in this little slide part. So this side's going to be a little different. So I think slamming it into place will work. All right. Slide this on, line it up, and boom, locked in place. The only thing disadvantage is when it's locked into place, you really can't open the sides. Mainly because on the Frontier you have this rail. On other models, you shouldn't have any problem at all, but this one, because of that slide issue, but I don't think it's that big of a deal, especially when the amount of cargo space that you get on the inside of it. So now I basically have freed up my entire front seat and back seat. And now I basically freed up my entire back seat that I had a bunch of tools, tie downs, cables, trailer hitch, the whole 9 yards. Now I have a good place that I can actually put these nice and safe and secure. Now let me get my tools out of the way, and I will show you Now, if you have the Frontier and you have the extended bed rail, what I do, slide your boxes out and off. Then you have your slides on the other side of the truck. Slide my rails down. And then on the other side. And then what we do, so this is your extender, and there's still plenty of slack that you can basically click in the safety straps on the other side. So they're connected, and same thing. Use that to disconnect, and you are good to go. Looks like it's a little more slack. That seems a little tight on that side, but a quick adjustment on the strap. Goes in nice and secure. And then when you're done, you just flip that out of the way. Put your boxes back in. All right, so a little fine adjustments on getting the rack and everything to fit in there securely. But again, the amount of space that you gain in these little guys is pretty extraordinary. But anyway, hope you like it. Find the links below where to find them for your vehicle. And again, this is Brian from Garage Mahal. Have a great year. Okay, with your cover over your bed, these how the boxes look underneath. So I'll give you kind of an idea how they fit